Hello and welcome to the RoboTalk show. I'm your host Aditya. This is the third episode of the show, and I hope third time's my charm. For those who are tuning in for the first time, first of all, thank you for clicking. Secondly, in this episode, we are talking about space technology, space robotics to be precise. We have a very fun guest who was an amazing sport throughout the show. I had an amazing time with him, and I hope you too have. So let's start the show and let's call upon Sautik Bhaiya from Space Nova. Hello, Bhaiya.
Hello, Aditya. How are you?
I'm fine, Bhaiya. How are you doing?
I'm awesome. I'm awesome. So, how's the temperature there? Is it as hot?
It's really cold. It's really cold.
Okay, let me just switch on my fan because I'm kind of feeling a little hot over here.
Okay, sure.
Okay, nevertheless.
Okay. So let's start from where we first met. Uh, it's not obviously met, it's virtual met.
Thanks
Yeah,
to
so
COVID.
thanks to COVID. Uh, so, um, NIT Rockla has a robotics and automation club called Cyborg, and Cyborg had collaborated with Space Nova for a space robotics webinar kind of thing. Workshop will
Workshop.
be a better word. Workshop will be a better word. So I met him through that workshop, and I obviously went on LinkedIn and suddenly messaged him, "Please come on the podcast. I would love to have you." And he was so sweet. He accepted. So, what was your first impression of this?
Okay, so first impression, I was like, okay, so Aditya texted me by saying, okay, please, we would love to have as a guest on our podcast and send a few other links as well. So when he sent the links, I actually started watching those podcasts. Okay, I actually started watching those podcasts, and to be really honest, I love how the way Aditya goes about with how how he meets people, when he starts fishing people on LinkedIn. Okay, and that is how he normally meets people. But this time he did not fish. Okay, or what do we say? Well, I threw the bait and Aditya got it. Okay, so here we have done the other way around. So that is
Other way
what,
around.
and he texted me after the day one of workshop where it was not all. I even haven't delivered anything. All my
Yeah,
content was for day two, but still Aditya texted me. Okay,
yeah.
okay, you could have at least waited for day two. Then you would have been like, nah, I shouldn't have texted him before, or maybe like that.
I'm
But
so
no.
desperate. I was so desperate to bring you on.
So yeah.
All right, so let's start. Okay, let's start from how did you enter this field? Like, what was the like brainchild of this idea? I want to do something in space tech.
Okay, so let me actually start with first of all, I'm originally I'm actually a software developer. Okay, so
Okay.
I'm all the tech guy or the coding guy where that is what I mostly do. Okay, so whenever you try to uh, connect coding with any of these things, okay, I am horribly interested. Okay.
Okay.
Firstly, so that is why I first joined in Space Nova. Okay, with that only intention in my mind that if I can somewhere take my coding skills and put them into space, that would have been, or that would be just lovely. Okay. So
Yeah.
that was, I
Yeah.
think, originally what I joined. Later on, when I started working throughout, then I understood that what space sector is. Okay, I had a more better understanding, and now I can be like, now I really want to contribute to this field, not because it's exciting or it's good, okay, but because I want to, because there are not much or there are not many things currently happening. I mean, there are, but not that many or not much or not many people are thinking in that direction. Somewhere or the other, I want people to think in that direction as well. That it's not always confined to your screens of your laptop. It's not always confined to your mobile phones. There is a world outside of these as well. There is a world of unexplored. There's something unexplored which is waiting for you. Okay.
Right. Right.
So with that, main intention, I went into the space tech and started seeing all the different things, whatever we are. And now currently it's space robotics, okay, where you still have coding, okay, which
Yeah.
I'm still loving. We still have coding. I mean, yeah, controlling someone on with my fingertips is something which everyone likes. Okay, so yeah, that is what
Yeah.
that is what I am doing. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So, what's your vision for 2025? Like, Space Nova has a perfect vision for 2025. Like, please share that.
Yeah, and that vision, well, I'd like to share it with others as well. So, well, let me start with just saying that I'm actually quoting what our vision is. So, we have a dream, a vision that by year 2025, each and every member of this nation should have enough resources and guidance to pursue careers in the field of space sciences, irrespective of their background. Just like
Hmm.
Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam stated his Vision 2020, we have stated ours. Now, the question is, are you with us? Let me know through your actions and contributions in this field. So, to sum it up in a single line, we want space to be accessible by all.
Yeah,
That is our main Vision 2025, which we all are working hard for.
that's an amazing thing to like hear to. It's so amazing to listen about this.
You?
Yeah. So, like, what are the things you are doing about? Like, what's Space Nova is acting? How is it going on?
Okay, so currently we are, or what do we say? Currently, Space One has a lot of other divisions. So one of those divisions being education and research. Okay, so in that
Hmm,
education and research, we again have a lot of other departments. Like we have the Department of Astrobiology, who
hmm,
again that is another term which not many people are familiar with the word astrobiology. Then
yeah.
you have something known as astronomy and astrophysics. Okay, and similarly, you have other departments as well, which are currently into education and research. Okay,
Hmm,
that
hmm.
is currently what we are doing. Apart from that, there are a few other things as well where we are trying to work upon. But yeah, majorly currently it's your education and research where we are.
Okay. So, what do you think the scope of space tech in India?
Okay. So first of all, if you go on for the currently what is the scope for our space tech, first you need to understand that why exactly are we trying or why exactly are we going into space tech realm. Okay. That is
Hmm,
somewhere or the other linked to the fact that we want to do space exploration. Okay.
hmm.
Space exploration is needed, and that is why we are building space tech. But
Right.
why are we doing space exploration? Space
Hmm, hmm,
exploration are done by, you can say, two or three major factors. One being innovation. Okay,
hmm.
we are trying to innovate something new. Okay, we are trying to bring in new things which can be used not only in space but also has its Earth applications as well. Okay, if you're building something for, let's say, health monitoring for astronauts, it does not mean that it will not monitor the health of people on Earth, right? It also monitor the people or the health of our people on Earth as well. And one more reason that why are we going forward is we want to know how did life began, what is the origin of the life, where will we go, what is our future. They might sound very philosophical, but they are scientific in nature, and we want to know the answers to these questions, and that is
Hmm.
why we go into this field. One being
Right.
innovation, other being culture, and thirdly being that it gives us new means to address challenges. Now, uh, currently, our, what do we say, the International Space Station that has not been developed by a single country, that has been developed by the collaboration effort of many other countries. Now,
Hmm.
if all the countries come together to build something as beautiful as the space station, just imagine if all the countries come together and tackle global problems like hunger or poverty. So this world would be a better place to live in. So this collaboration in space not only opens routes for space, but for on Earth as well, where countries are able to collaborate. And yeah, countries are collaborating for this pandemic as well. For COVID, we have seen so many countries collaborating, and somewhere or
Right.
the other, it is somewhere because of that. What we can say, yeah, because they have already collaborated, so there is already a trust. which the countries have with
Yeah.
each other. So they are able
Yeah.
to use that as well. But okay, so now coming to your space tech. Okay,
Hmm.
now coming to your space tech in India. So all the companies of India are currently divided into two or three major parts. The first being is into launch vehicles and satellites and payloads. So that is one sector where other companies are working with, and others are towards your education and research. Okay.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
thirdly, it's your space robotics and software solutions.
Yeah.
Well, this is an emerging field currently, but as our government brings in more things, okay, as our government starts supporting them, then these are the fields which will bloom. But
Right.
currently, these are the few things. And yeah, so we are waiting, or as you are seeing that ISRO is currently doing our Gaganyaan, you have your
Yeah.
space, human exploration, and other things as well. So we are waiting for these to be successful. Okay, once these are successful, you would see tremendous or a lot of emphasis or a lot of efforts would be a lot of money would be put into these field once all these
Hmm.
missions are successful, and other countries would then also be inspired by us, also carry out their own missions as well. Okay, so
Right.
for
Right.
India, these are all we are having.
According to you, what is the future of Indian space tech? Do you think
Okay.
more of the space tech will go on to in the private sector? Now it's morely in the ISRO part. Like, do you think there will be a shift in to the private sector?
Okay, so if you're asking me, will there be any, or will it go towards the private or not? So see, what happens is, if there are, or there are currently many private companies who are working in this. Okay, and why are they working this? Because they somewhere or the other wants to collaborate with ISRO. Okay,
Yeah.
maybe not ISRO or some other company. So they want to do that as well. So even if they are
Right.
being privatized, okay, even if they are privatized, as long as they have the same goal in mind, okay, that is have they have the same goal in mind as that of other companies, that it is your space exploration and gaining of knowledge and resources, then I think that would be a wonderful thing. Because if you give me the answer to the question of how did life originate, I mean, I don't care if you're a private sector or a government sector. Okay, you
True.
are giving me the answer to this question, which we all are wondering. So, I mean, you still have respect for me. It's not that, oh, you're private sector. This means that you must have uh, given or bribed someone for this information. No, it's not like that. As long as you're working towards it, it's all the same. It's all the fine. But in future, what will happen is that the government is actually bringing in a lot of things. Okay, and the government is putting and the government is supporting these.
Hmm.
Okay, so if the government goes ahead and does that, we won't be having this private, or maybe, yeah, we would be still having private, but the government would be funding.
Then.
Okay,
Right.
government would
Right.
be
Right.
funding them, but we'll still be having private things. They would be
But it will be
utilizing their own
because
assets.
it is money intensive, right? Because space research is in its nature it is money intensive. So from somewhere we need money to come in, right?
And yes, and all these things are actually quite expensive. Okay,
Yeah.
these are actually quite expensive, so we do need money, and so that's why still we are relying towards the government fields or the government schemes. And yeah, Modi is actually bringing a lot of things for space research, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken. I think recently only he made a lot of announcements, and Modi is also supporting the startups as well, right? So
Yeah.
also have these things come in. So I see that the future is very bright for new startups, for space startups, for not only space, for any startups. The future is quite bright, and so all the
Yeah.
government policies which the current government is bringing.
Yeah. Yeah. So, can you give me some examples about the startups which are in the space sector right now? One
Okay,
of them which got my attention was Skyroot Space.
okay, so well, there are a lot of startups. Okay, for in this field, okay, there are a lot of startups in this field. And if you want any names, I think I can give you a few names for them. Let me just go into very brief into about space robotics and tell you. that for space robotics, we do not have much startups. The one startup which we are aware of is Team Indus. Okay, the
Mm-hmm.
one which was competing for Google Lunar X competition. That was Team
Right, right.
Indus, which was competing for it. And there are other startups which are going towards planetary exploration and excavation as well, lunar excavation and planetary exploration. So we have other startups as well. And currently, Space Nova is also towards into your space robotics as well. We're also trying something, but
Okay.
in general, the different space specs say sectors. Yes, you have a lot of startups. Okay, you have a lot of startups which are emitting. The one being prominent being Star, which or we have good relationships with Star as well, and
Okay. Okay.
yeah, I won't name any more startups for now, but I mean, yeah, there are a lot of startups and they are actually doing good jobs. But yeah, one being Star Labs, yeah, one being Star Labs, and others.
Yeah.
You have.
Okay. Okay. So, how are you feeling at Space Nova? How's life there? Like, how's life going on there?
Okay. So well, it's actually going quite good, and we are having a lot of things currently. One being, as you said, your space robotics. Yeah, one being your space robotics workshops, which we are currently doing. Not only in Anti Raurkela, but in many colleges, we are doing space robotics workshop, and also other things are still going on. It is your Python with space applications. It's a training program which is currently going on, and a few more training programs which we are bringing in. Not only that, we're also bringing in a few challenges and competitions, and they are actually live. The one being is your Space Science Challenge 2022. That is the second edition of Space Science Challenge, or SSC. We are bringing it's from the May 2022, but
Okay.
preparations and everything start from now itself. So we are preparing a lot for the SSC to make it grand. And for all the viewers, if you're watching this, if you want pressure for the Space Science Challenge, you can definitely do that. It's completely free of cost, so no need to worry about that. But yeah, you can definitely go ahead and register for the Space Science Challenge as well. Um, yeah, that is happening. Then your space robotics training program, which we are about to bring in, so that is also happening. So all these things are currently happening in space Nova, which is keeping me quite occupied, but not in a what we say, not in a bad way, but in a good way. It is keeping me occupied. Okay, Be- being
Yeah.
busy or what do we say? It's not exhausting at all. It's rather enjoyable that there are so many things to do and with so much time. So it's like, oh, what do we say? Yeah, we have the
Some,
motivation that we have to do something, right?
yeah. Sometimes being busy gives you a kick to do more. Like to do even more. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So that is what, or well, that is something which we all are doing so that we could bring something good for you all.
Right. 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 So let's talk about the career opportunities in space tech right now in India. And what are the exams people need to target?
Okay. So when you're coming to that question, okay, so there is, or what do we say? There are very limited colleges which are actually offering a space robotics thing. Okay, there are very limited colleges, and it's not it's not just confined to space robotics. If you are having, okay, if you're having, or if you want, or if you are doing your bachelor's in maybe let's say in mechatronics, in robotics, or in maybe your
Computer science, electronics, something like that.
not computer science electronics, I'm forgetting the name which I'm looking for is okay. No problem. Let's go about that again.
Yeah.
Not that name anyway. So so if you're doing a bachelor's in maybe robotics, or if you're doing your bachelor's in mechatronics, you're doing bachelor's in your automation, you're doing your bachelor's in anything, you are free to explore this field of space
Hmm.
robotics. And which company should you target with? Well, any companies which are working on satellites, which are solving problems like the debris problem. Okay,
Hmm.
because somewhere or other you need to build a robotic arm which will go in and capture these debris. Right, that is a very common problem in the space sector.
Hmm.
So if any company is targeting that specific problem statement, you can go ahead and work in that company. Okay, so not only that, in any of or of any companies which are somewhere or the other contributing to this field where you think that robotics might be involved, so that is the companies you should go about for. Okay. And
Right.
how will you be prepared when you're in your bachelor's or anything? So if you're in a bachelor's, so you would target or all the projects with whatever you are doing, you want to do all those projects related to extreme endurance robots. Okay.
Hmm. Hmm.
It can be anything. It can be maybe high temperature. It can be your underwater. Okay,
Hmm.
it can be your other things which would be extreme environment robot. That is something you should be working with, because space is also an extreme environment. You have tremendous radiations, you have tremendous temperature fluctuations, so all these things make space an extreme environment. So if you're doing your projects in your college, it's recommended that you go for extreme endurance robots, because that is
Hmm.
something which would be needed in space exploration, and that is something which you would be well equipped with. Okay,
Right.
so that
Right.
being different career opportunities currently. Or all right. So for different colleges, what I have done or what we have done is Dr. Shira Shantra, who is currently the director of space technology, so already prepared a list of different colleges, which I'll be sharing you, and you can put them in the description. Okay.
Okay.
And you can, guys, you can just go ahead, click on the link. You'll find an Excel sheet where you have all the different colleges listed there with scholarships, links, and everything. They're already there in the Excel sheet. But if you're wanting specific colleges for space robotics, yes, there are a few. One being Tohoku University in Japan, where
Hmm.
Dr. Shia Shatra had done her PhD and is also an assistant professor at the same. Okay,
Okay.
and
Okay.
this and the space robotics lab where they are having. Okay, where they're having, they have actually built for they've actually contributed for the Hayabusa mission. Okay, there was a mission which went ahead for collection of sample from an asteroid. So
Yeah.
it is from this lab only which has gone through. So if you guys do join this university, you'll get that experience as well. Well, that is one such which I'm saying is in Japan. Not only that, there are other many colleges, and the links in the description. Go ahead, check them out, and you would see a lot of colleges.
Yeah, great. Okay. Working on space tech is a monetarily heavy project. So, from the money perspective, people don't earn much in the space sector, as I have read about it. People don't earn much if you compare it with the like the software people. So, do you think this? They don't deserve. They do reserve a raise. So, why is it not happening?
Okay. So, firstly, the people who are working into your software get paid because they are working for someone in a company. Whereas, if you're going into your space tech, people
Right.
people are entrepreneurs. Okay,
Yeah.
they are not
Yeah.
working for anyone; they are working for themselves. Okay,
Right.
so they don't get paid by anyone as such. What they
Yeah.
need is they need funds, and
Ra.
they need to raise funds, and that can be done through our different government policies, government funds, which we discussed and at just a few minutes back. So that is
Right.
something they are wanting. They are not wanting a pay or a hike, because they are not working for anyone like our software developers,
Mhm.
which are working mostly in MNCs. Okay. And
Mhm. Yeah.
MNCs, yes, they can pay them, but our space tech engineers are not working exactly for any company, but they are themselves entrepreneurs who
Yeah.
just need funds. There's a difference between funds and salary. Okay.
Salary. True.
Well, if you're asking, they should deserve a raise, or they should deserve money. Yes, they should, because space is a costly field, and we do need a lot of money, because the investments are not, uh, not just a laptop or a setup. There are other things which you need when you're going into the space tech. That is something, money, yes, it's needed, and
Yeah.
well, yeah.
Okay. So recently I went through some blogs because I do that research. I go through blogs, I go through YouTube videos, and I found out that soft robotics has some applications in exploration, in space exploration too. So I got hold of a video.
That
Yes.
for our audience.
Yeah.
Stopped by adhesives or spikes. Although it looks kind of simple and cheap, it has dozens of potential applications, including one day maybe saving your life. This video is sponsored by Morning Brew, the free daily newsletter.
Okay, so what do you think about this? Is this
Okay.
does this have really potential, some good potential?
Well, yes, soft robotics, it has a good potential. And yeah, even I was looking into that, we can use soft robotics. So, when you have or when you want to explore the surfaces of celestial objects, when you need not a normal motion, but rather you
Hmm.
need a snake like motion, an eel like motion, or a gecko like motion, that
Hmm.
is the places where the soft robotics becomes very handy. Okay,
Yeah.
so yes, there are few things, and the soft robotics definitely has a lot of potential. I think more research needs to go on soft robotics. Currently, not many people are doing into this,
Hmm.
but yeah, that is something where you do have applications on different
Yeah.
celestial bodies. And I believe that there should be one such moon where the soft robotics is being used. I'm not able to get the name currently, but yeah, there is one such moon where we are using your soft robotics. Okay,
Oh,
so
okay. I
good
had no
job in
idea about this.
yeah, good job in going through different articles and researching. Other people scroll Instagram, you're scrolling articles and different things. So, yeah, that's a good.
I will add this on my CV. I go through research papers. Yes.
Something is better than nothing.
Yeah, true. Okay, so it's been some 2 years now. I'm following this channel called the Garib Scientist, and that's an amazing channel. I love it. I completely love it. I have seen all the videos. I can tell you right now, and it has some amazing content. Like there should be more independent creators like him. What do you think about this?
Okay, so firstly, yes, Garib Scientist is doing a tremendous job, and yes, we are also in contact with Garib Scientist. His name is Samit. Okay, so he's doing or he's creating that particular channel, and yes, he has also extensively covered about ISRO and launch vehicles and satellite sectors as well. So he
Yeah,
is developing that, and one more reason is that he's developing all this content in Hindi. So for
yeah,
people who are or for the people of India, that channel serves a great inspiration, and they can learn from this because first of all, it's in Hindi, so they can relate to it much better. And the amount of hard work which he's putting in is actually appreciable, and more people should definitely do this. Okay, and
right.
why we are using the name Garib Scientist is because he actually goes ahead and verifies those information. Okay, he verifies this information, does the literature review, talks to people in the same sector. He talks to people, gets their that's it, experts. He talks to them, gets it verified, and then creates the content. Not like the people who read a news article and prepared a content.
Yes.
No, that's not how
Right.
you do things. If
True.
you want to go ahead, build or develop content, do it like Garib Scientist, get it verified, do a literature review, and then create content. So yes, more independent researchers or more independent creators should do this, but they should do it like Garib Scientist, get it verified, do the literature review, know that it's authentic, and then proceed forward with the creation of your content. And once you do that, you not only get the respect of common people but the respect of YouTube, and YouTube does pay you good amount if you're developing nice content and it's engaging. YouTube also
Yes.
pays you handsomely.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, do you have any book recommendations right now? Like some
Okay,
good
books.
books, book recommendations.
Okay, yeah, good books recommendation. Yes, I do have a few books, and I think we do the same format. That is, in the link section, you can get all the different books. Okay, I do have
Okay.
a lot of books where you can go and read them, gain more insights if you want, maybe from the entrepreneurial side, from the technical side, any of the two. You can go ahead, read those books. They're very handy. They're very good. Uh, you can go ahead for the e version as well, but reading a book in your
Is
hands has a different feel.
true, true, true.
So, yeah.
Okay. So how did it go? How do you think it went? Like, what do you feel about this podcast?
Okay, well, this podcast went tremendously good, and thankfully there were no internet issues or none of our laptops frozen between. So that is a good thing. Or even if it did, you would never know because it's already edited. You guys don't know
He's
that.
lying. He's lying.
Okay, this is completely unedited version. Okay, let me make it clear. This is completely unedited podcast video which you are watching. But no, in general, yes, it worked actually great. And well, Aditya, first of all, you're actually doing a tremendous thing. And as I said at the very beginning, that when Aditya sent all the videos, I started watching them completely. Okay, I started watching them, I'm seeing how the flow was going on. So that is something, whatever you're doing, it's actually great. And you, or the main motive of yours is to spread awareness, to spread knowledge, and other people would also get to understand in a fun way. But
Yeah.
yeah, so that is something which is really good and appreciable. And this is currently the third episode. I believe that,
Yes.
I hope there is number 333rd episode. So I hope that you have those many number of episodes. And yes, get paid by YouTube for this. Okay.
Yeah. Please.
Uh, you have a long
YouTube, if
run.
you're
I hope.
watching this, YouTube, if you're watching this, which I know you are, please pay.
Please pay. Give him subscribers. Give him watch hours. We'll give you. Okay, money. YouTube will
Yeah.
give you. All right.
Yes.
So yeah, what are you doing is fantastic, and I hope for many more of these episodes. And yes, I've already subscribed, and so as soon as a new episode comes in, I'll get notified, and then I'll
Yes.
also see how well
Yeah.
you are
Yeah.
doing out there.
Yeah.
And also, all the best for your college. I
Thank
hope
you so
you.
much. Thank you so
I, I
much.
I hope you are able to visit your college and get graduated.
uh, One day, yes.
So I hope you're graduated. You can visit them and graduate with fine colors and do what you want to do. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.